everyone, it's the Aspie Cowboy back finally with another video. I know it's been quite a while. I've been on vacation. I've had a lot going on at home with the family. It's just, you know how life can be sometimes. It's just hectic and sometimes fun, sometimes exciting, Had a great time down in my home state of Tennessee. That's where I was. I spent a whole month there, which I haven't done since I was a teenager, back when I was in school. I used to sometimes go down there for a few weeks or about a month or so, and it was different this time. I'm older now as an adult, and it's a bit different, but that's not the topic of my video today. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about the phases that we have in life, and it's something that I've realized recently. It feels like only the past few years has really been different for me. I'm getting older, of course, and I've really started to learn a lot more. I've grown more wiser, I guess you could say, and I've realized, the phases we go through in life. And it was something I was just thinking about recently, and I thought, it'd be cool to talk about, to make a video about a little bit. So to start off, the whole thing that got me thinking about it was something happened a few weeks ago. I don't think I ever mentioned this on my channel or even on my Facebook page, but I used to be a part of a, what's it called, like an autism group where you can, people on the spectrum can go and meet on Zoom and meet online and talk and stuff. And that was a really nice group to get to go to. I didn't have to go in person, so I didn't have to deal with all the noise and some of the stresses that you have to deal with in person. So it was really nice. I was able to go on every once a week. They do it once a week, and I'd get to meet with other people on the spectrum, just get to hear things from their perspective, and just get to talk to people that are similar in my age group, and have, go through some of the same things that I go through myself. So it was really nice, and I really liked it. And a few weeks ago, I was looking because I hadn't been to a group in a while because, as I mentioned, there was a lot going on at home. I had a family member that's not been doing the best, so I haven't had a lot of time to get to do that group. But a few weeks ago, I was thinking about it, and so I looked on my email because they send me an email every week for the invite and all that to join group. And I realized I hadn't got one in a while, so I sent a message to the person who ran the group, and I said, I wanted to join. Did they take time off? Did they take a break? And it turns out since I hadn't gone to group for a few months, and they stopped sending me invites, and they technically kicked me out of the group, I guess, because I guess they just assume that if I haven't gone for a while, then that means I quit, I guess, even though I never told them that I quit. So I was kind of upset, and then I said, all right, well, I want to join, I want to come back. I told them about what was going on with my family and all that. And they said I had to write out, that I could join back, but I had to write a form. And I read the form, and I was talking to them about it, and it was really weird because they asked some questions that I wasn't comfortable answering. It was just really weird. One of the questions asks what your race is and stuff. It just seemed very sketchy to me, and I don't like giving out a lot of personal information, especially to people I don't really know. In fact, I never knew these people, this group. I never went there in person because they're all the way out in I don't know, somewhere out in West Michigan. But I found out about it online. I thought, hey, it's a cool group. But then they never made me fill out this form before. They said that it was okay as long as I was in the state of Michigan, it didn't matter. But then they said, oh, if I want to rejoin group, I have to fill out this form. And it just had some really weird questions, and I just wasn't comfortable answering. It just seemed suspicious to me, and maybe it's just because I'm paranoid. And I asked, is there any way I can not do it? I told them how my concerns, and I just said, can you just go back to doing it the way it used to be for the past few years it's been? I said, I've never had to do it before. I don't know why I need it now. And they said, no, if I want to come back to group, I have to do it. So I had to make a decision. Do I answer these weird questions that I'm not comfortable answering just for the sake of meeting other people my age and, having a little bit of socialization? Or do I not answer it and just say, you know what, I'll find another group some other day, right? I'll, when one window closes, another one opens. That's what I've always been told. Every time I've always been told no in life, or we try to do something and I'm told no, my parents always say, all right, well, maybe something better will happen tomorrow or something, So I had to make a decision, and the decision I made was to just say goodbye to the group. I told, I'd like to join. I wanted to be a part of it, but I just said, nope, I ain't gonna do it. Not with those kind of questions, and not with, how I was feeling. My gut was telling me no. And I just said, well, I'm sorry to have to leave group. I enjoyed it. I'd like to come back, but I just wasn't comfortable. So I said my goodbyes, and I guess that's pretty much it. So it got me thinking. When I was thinking about all this, I thought, that's just another phase of my life that's come and gone. And then I look back to the rest of my life, from all the years back, and I think about the other phases of my life that have come and gone, and I don't know, I kind of just wanted to share a little bit of it today, and I don't know, I thought it might be just some good listening for y'all. I'm sure everyone listening probably has their own phases that they've gone through in life. One phase that also ended recently, somewhat recently anyhow, was I lost my grandfather a little over a year ago, and he was my last grandparent, and that's been really hard to come to terms with, knowing that now, ever since that day that he passed away, the rest of my life I live is without a grandparent. It's a hard pillow to swallow, I mean, the first time I lost a grandparent was when I was a little kid. I'm about 7 years old or so. I didn't really, his death came, premature, is that the way to say it? His death was unexpected. It wasn't natural causes. He didn't die of old age. So I didn't really understand it, and I didn't, it wasn't something that was supposed to happen or a normal thing that you would expect to happen. And, when my next grandparent died, my grandmother, that was about, 6 years ago, and that's when it really started to hit me that I'm getting older, that my family's getting older, and, but I still had that phase of my life where I still had 2 grandparents left, so I could still call them up or text them, or actually, I guess I only texted one of them. The other one was a bit more old school, but, I was able to contact them and see them, and it was really nice. And when my grandfather died over a year ago, back in 2024, it really just, when he died, it hurt the most, because knowing that part of my life of having a grandfather, having a grandmother is over with, and it's a hard thing to have to think about. And, I've, over the years, the past few years, since I haven't seen them in a while, the pain has kind of gone away a little bit more. It's not been as bad, but it still hurts every now and then. I'll see a picture of them on our cabinet, whatever, and I'll think, darn it, man, I miss them. I wish I could call them up, or I wish I could go and have dinner with them, and it's just another phase of my life that's come and gone. It'll never come back, but I'm happy that I got to have the time with them that I had. And, it's interesting, and another phase I suppose I can mention is some of my friends I've had online or even in real life. When I was a kid, I used to have my good group that I would hang out with in school. And, of course, I don't have any of those friends anymore. I haven't heard from them in a long time. I used to have a bunch of friends online, a whole group of friends that I used to play with. And that, those phases have come and gone. So I don't know, I just wanted to make this little video talking about phases of life, and while it's sad when they end, I'm just happy that I got to experience it at all, right? And I don't know, I just wanted to make a little motivational video that even when a phase ends, an old phase ends, a new one will start sometime, and it's a shame that I had to leave that group. I really didn't want to, but, I just had to go with my gut. And I believe that hopefully I'll find a new group of friends or another online group that I don't have to fill out answer weird questions, And, the thing is about that group, I wasn't friends with anyone there, really. I mostly just, went there to talk. I didn't really have a lot in common with any of them. So, it's not a major loss. It'd be different if maybe I had, like, a best friend that I'd hang out with or something. But I didn't really get to know them very well just because, we all had our own differences, and, or how do I say it? It's like, we didn't have a lot in common, so mostly I would just talk a little bit, and, Yeah, so it wasn't like a major loss to me, but it's still a shame because I still enjoyed it, and it was always nice to just get to hear from other people on the spectrum, you know. But I think that's going to be the end of this video for the day. I'm so sorry for the lack of videos for the past, like, what, 2 months or so. You know, my birthday's coming up, and I've had family in the hospital. It's just been a hectic time, but I am going to be making more videos. I'm going to do my best. I don't want to say when it's going to be. I know I keep posting on my Facebook page, and I keep saying, oh, I'm going to make a video this day or that day, and I do intend to do it. I just, you know, things get in the way, or I'm having a down day, so I'm not really in the mood to make a video sometimes. That's just how life is, unfortunately. But I am going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep posting. I did recently get into announcing at a hockey game near here, and so I didn't make a video of that, or of a recording of me announcing, but I am going to try to have that next time. So I'll probably post a video of me announcing at a hockey game soon. That'll be really cool. That was really fun. I've never really announced at a hockey game before, aside from one time at a charity event, I believe it was called. But yeah, it was pretty fun, and I'm hoping to do more public speaking gigs in the future, hopefully, if I can line them up. But anyway, that'll probably be the end of the video. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in my comments section in the video, or go on to my Facebook page called Puzzle Joe. I'd really appreciate it. Just, you know, come and check and see what I've written, or you can share my page and my videos to other people that you know that might benefit from my videos and my speaking. So I really hope you all have a great day, a good Valentine's Day for y'all that have, you know, a significant other. Of course, I don't, but, you know, I'll be wishing people a happy Valentine's Day on the intercom tomorrow at the store, so it'll all work out for me. So I hope you all have a great day, and thanks again for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.